Okay, so in today's video we're going to take a look at an add-on for the Smokeless Range 2.0, and this add-on is the Marksman range. Now, as you can see here, I have two instances of the Marksman range. So Laser Ammo have recently updated the Marksman range to a version 2, and this is an additional add-on that you can actually bring into the Smokeless range. And if you own the old version 1, you have access to the version 2 as a free update. So if you already have the existing one, you get the new version. They will obviously operate side by side, so you can have both together. And from the point of view of obviously this video, we're just going to look at a high-level sort of like overview of this, because I've only just recently downloaded this, so we'll take a quick comparison between the two. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk through creating a kind of a course and drill on each of them, and obviously then sort of talk about the differences. So version 1, you have a simulator here. Click on that, it will load in the simulator. You can choose from various preloaded courses, and you have a set of predefined courses which you see here, which is pretty good. Again, you can choose a number of shooters from 1 through 4, and you can go ahead and obviously create additional courses as you see fit. Now, to create a new course, let's go ahead and exit and go into the editor. Now in here you get obviously the ability to have this dialog which lets you see existing courses, and you can choose to edit those, or you can create a new one. So we're going to go ahead and just create a new one. So let's give it a name, and then obviously you have the description again, and in here you can choose your units, so you have the ability to be able to specify your preference on units. So we'll go ahead and have yards, and you have your kind of target, which has obviously the information regarding the target, the distance, which is based on your units, the face time and edge time. Again, both of these are in seconds. So in order to obviously specify the target, you would click on this change target button. You then select your given target of choice. So we'll go ahead and choose a target here, and you can then specify the distance. So we're going to go ahead and put like say 10 yards. Face time is how long exposure of the target is to the shooter. So we're going to say, okay, we're going to allow that to be presented for 3 seconds. And the edge time is how long the target is held on its edge before being presented to the shooter. So in this case, we'll just stick 5 seconds in there. So when you run this particular drill, you'll have 5-second wait on the edge before the target presents. You then have 3 seconds to take your shots at that given distance. So let's go ahead and save changes. So you can see that that's appeared in the list here. So now to the Smokeless Range main application, and then we choose the sim, and you can see our new course has appeared here in the list. So let's go ahead and load this. Now, one thing to note, when you bring this into Marksman Range version 1, it starts straight away. So there's no kind of shoot or press spacebar to start. You're straight in, and it runs a drill immediately. So you saw that was pretty quick. I was talking, but no shots off. So here's your obviously target presented. So let's go ahead and just replay that. So we wait for on the edge for the target then presents, take your shots. Now, when it shows obviously the target, you don't have the ability like you have in the Open Range 2 to specify how many hits on a target for it to be designated as a hit, or finished if you like. So this one, you just get off a number of shots based on your drill or what you're trying to accomplish, in order to sort of obviously then show those particular hits. Now, interesting on this one, you'll see that this color coordination here is needed for when you have multiple multiple stages within this particular course. And let's just quickly explain that, because it does make an interesting point. So if I go back and go into the editor, now we have our existing demo here, so I'm going to edit that and add an additional stage. So in this one, we'll choose the same type of target. I don't want to go for the exact target. I want something very similar size-wise. What would be a good choice? Let's go for this one. So I'm going to do same distance here, 10 yards. And again, let's go for exactly the same parameters. So it's 5 seconds. So you have stage 1, which will be this target, shown at 10 yards. Again, 3-second edge time, 3-second face time, and a 5-second edge time. Exactly the same with this target, but obviously it's a different target or similar type of target. Same parameters. So we'll save that. Exit here. Go back into simulator, and we'll run that again. So you can see first target, and I'm going to take a couple of shots top left. I'll explain why I'm doing that in a second. Second target, bottom right. So wait for it to present. And then you can see, or hopefully it explains what I'm trying to get across the point here, is that when it shows you the after action report, the colour when it's in green for the hits is the actual target that you were shooting at. So in this case, obviously the first target, and these additional hits are obviously not coloured at the moment, so they're the second target. So when you come in here and choose your stage, which is a stage 1, and then go to stage 2, you'll see now that these are coloured to signify that these were the hits on this second target, and these hits here that's still showing are the first target. A little bit confusing this. I mean, I can understand, you kind of, you got a target and you're pushing it out to a different distance, but you've got a different target here, which suggests that you change the target, and this kind of gets a bit kind of weird looking. And not only that, it shows here that we have 7 hits, but it doesn't say the 7 hits were, they're a combined number of hits, as opposed to you had X hits on this particular one and X hits on this particular one. So it's a little bit kind of, it shows you obviously the correct sort of bullet holes, if you like, for each target by the color coding, but I don't think it's very intuitive. So let's see how that obviously plays out when we look at version 2. Okay, so that was quick overview on version 1. I mean, you've got a good set of like predefined courses here, so pretty good, and you can come in and obviously edit those as you see fit. And as you saw, you can create new courses and based on your type of shooting drill that you want. Okay, so let's exit that. Now, with version 1, you saw that we had the simulator and the standalone editor for modifying the courses. It looks like on M-Range it's all built into the same kind of application, or launched from the same application, I might say. So here it is, M-Range 2.0. So you get a nice kind of clean interface here. So version 2, you've got obviously the options here for your training, which takes you straight into the actual the courses that are available, so you can jump straight in. And then obviously you have your course editor, 0 firearm capability, and the media manager. So let's go ahead and create another course like we did in version 1. So media manager on this particular one, just have a quick look. This is very similar to the Open Range 2. Obviously you don't have the ability to change the background or bring in any kind of assets for the range that you're building, because it's within a fixed sort of like an indoor range. So there'll be no obstructions or any other sort of like assets that you would need. And also you're not changing the sound either for like any hits or misses. So very similar to the media manager in Open Range 2, but clearly here we've only just got the target. So we'll just have a quick look at this. For those who are not familiar with the Open Range 2, this target importer is very powerful. You have the ability to be able to define or add new targets, but define their score zones. So if we take a quick look at this, you can see as I hover over the mouse, you can see the different zones and the different hits. And this is quite powerful. So you can edit this to take a closer look. You can see here that these zones have been predefined, and you can add in additional zones. You can see here the little symbols, or sorry, little dots that kind of define the edge or boundary of that zone. And again, you can specify the target name, height and width, which is necessary for good sort of scaling at distance, and obviously your category if you choose. But now you have obviously 0 firearm. So in here, very similar to the Smokeless Range option that you have on the main sort of application itself, where you can 0 your laser firearm that you have. So again, on this one, you would target this particular target and shoot 3 times to sort of like create an offset. So if you didn't have your laser perfectly sighted and you were slightly off, you take those shots and it would then 0 with an offset based on your shot position on that target. And again, the good on this is you have the ability to do this for 4 additional shooters for the 4 lanes that are supported on the Marksman Range 2. So let's go ahead and quit that. Then you have your course editor. So this opens up inside the main application. You can see you've got 2 predefined courses here. You had a lot more obviously with version 1. They may have some additional ones in the future, but off the bat you're given 2 courses. Again, to create a new course, you click the Create Course, and this gives you this new interface here, a lot cleaner again. So course name as before, so we go ahead and just do that. Course description, same deal. And again, you can choose your preferred unit of measurement. And then here is where you would build up your course of fire with your targets. So you have obviously the stage ID, the string ID, the distance of the target, again, face time, edge time in seconds, and this time we have number of shots, which is a new feature to the marksman range. And to the left here, you have this preview button option, which is very powerful. So on this one, when I had a kind of like a brief look at the instructions or the guide that obviously Laser Ammo had when they were introducing this, it looks like you can preview the actual physical stages, which is pretty powerful, because I found in Open Range 2, when you're kind of building out elaborate stages and stuff, you don't always see what mistakes you've made until you've jumped out of the editor and then jumped into the actual simulator, and then you can discover it. But having this feature would allow you obviously to be able to spot those issues before you exit the editor, which is kind of a powerful feature, and we'll see how that looks in a sec. So let's go ahead and just build out a simple course here. So if you click Add Exposure, that will bring in a new target. So again, you have your target select with your category option if you've chosen a particular type of category of your choice. And again, you've got multiple targets here, so we'll go ahead and just pick target 4 again. This then adds that in as a target for this stage. So at the moment, obviously we have distance, 1 yard, face time is 1 second, edge time 0. So go ahead and just preview this. So you can see it just drops in and drops out. So that's the preview I was talking about. So it shows you how these attributes of this target will behave. So let's go ahead and say we want 10 yards as before. Face time we want 3 seconds. And we want edge time of 4 seconds. And we only need obviously 1 shot on target for this. You do have the ability to edit in any text regarding the stage. So if you want to sort of like write something here to say, this is only needs 1 shot to actually engage his target, you can obviously add that as instructions. You have the ability to remove the target here and also copy the target. So if you want to take this existing target and copy it, you have that option as well. It makes it easier to sort of like build up your stage quite quickly. 2 stages. So let's go ahead and add a second one, and this time we'll find our where was it? Our blue man target. And you can see here, it's moved down in the scrolling, but the first target's still there. So again, on this one, same situation. We'll set this at 10 yards. Face time of 3 seconds, and edge time, what did I specify? 4 seconds. With 1 shot needed. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that course, and we'll preview it. So we have our first target up here, 10 yards. And our second target should appear, same 10 yards. There you go. So again, quite kind of useful to be able to sort of like visualize obviously how it's going to perform. Okay, so let's go ahead and back out. You can see it's recorded that here in the list. So we'll go ahead and drop out of this, and then we can go into the training. So once you hit the training, you'll have the ability to be able to select obviously which of the courses you want to actually operate. You can choose shooters 1 through 4, very similar to the version 1. So we'll just stick to 1 initially. Settings here, you can come in and you can adjust things like the bullet hole size on the target. You can specify that as a different size as you see fit for visual sort of aspects. You can choose to hide the bullet holes on target and not show them during the drill, or you can also have an auto run. So this is similar to version 1 where it automatically starts. You can go for that approach if you want that to be the way you want to run your courses, or you can have it where you have to manually select it by either shooting the bar that appears at the bottom or clicking the space bar, similar to the Open Range 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and select this course in, and we'll jump straight in. Okay, so you're presented again with the ability to be able to manually start the course when you're ready. Nice, like a sort of bright sort of course, indoor range looking, but cleanly presented. So let's go ahead and see how this runs. So we have our first target will appear at 10 yards. So we'll take a shot. Then we have our second target, which obviously is a second stage, so you have to again manually choose to trigger that if you have that option on. So we've got target shot in there. Again, end of the drill. And then here's your after action report. So again, you can see here, shooter 1, total stages 2, total shots were 2, and our score obviously 20 and 2 hits, no misses. You can actually look at the additional course strings. So you can see here, so stage 1, string 1, you can see obviously I had a score of 10 with my hit there. Again, 1 hit, no misses. You can review the stage. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so that shows you obviously, so now it's brought the target obviously up front, so you can see that hit, and you can see there. And then the second stage is showing you obviously that as well, so you can see where that hit was. So you have that ability on the outer action report to have quite some good information regarding your engagement with those targets. So let's go back, and yeah, so you can also see here as well. So without going into the review stage, you can get a quick summary of that. Essentially, that was the introduction to obviously the Marksman Range 2.0. So you can see that they've done some improvements to the overall sort of layout and design. And I do like the fact that you have the media manager for the targets. The zero firearm is a nice feature that you don't have to go back into the Smokeless Range to do it at that level. You can do it within the main add-on. The training side of things, the interface here is pretty slick. It's very similar to what we have in the Open Range 2. I'm quite a fan of that, with the ability to be able to mark certain courses favourites, and then you have the ability to obviously have the courses categorised as well, which is pretty good. The ability to be able to have the settings for some aspects of shooting the courses again is welcomed. But over that, I mean, the general changes are welcomed. Definitely a lot cleaner looking UI. It's been definitely refreshed. So okay, so that was the Marksman Range 2.0 from Laser Ammo. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one. Bye for now.